Well, while you was over there in Australia, Elon Musk made a comment. Yeah. Made a comment. I think he was retweeting Tashara Jones, the mayor of St. Louis City, and made a comment that hands up, don't shoot. It was a hoax. How you feel about that, Mike Brown Sr.?
Oh, I feel some type of way about it because, it all came from the death of Mike Brown Jr.
Langford Cunningham is really an inspiration.
Mr. Langford Cunningham.
Blind City, the podcast. It's headed up by a guy named Langford Cunningham. He had to lose his sight to find his vision.
Welcome to Blind City, the podcast. I'm your host, Langford Cunningham. We are the therapy for these streets.
Everybody got their ops, everybody got their enemies, but for real, now you don't even got to worry about your enemy. It be, the closest motherfuckers around you.
No, this is real. We getting shot by police. We getting stereotyped.
We didn't get a proper investigation. Well, definitely, I think it's a bunch of bullshit.
Your car got shot up, right?
Yeah, he struck the bullet.
Yeah, you from the hood.
They just passed a law where you can give a kid a gun without the parents' permission.
Wait a minute. They can do what? We got people in power that's not really for the people. They think the people work for them. You work for the people.
We got to talk about the disparities in our community.
Northside look like a bomb didn't hit it.
Hey, y'all, this is Tashara Jones, mayor of the city of St. Louis, and I listen to Blind City, the podcast.
If you found this content helpful, please share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Blind City, the podcast. You can find us on all social media platforms.
BlindCityThePodcast.com. BlindCityThePodcast.com. We have another fabulous show tonight. You got 3 black men that's going to sit at the table. We're going to discuss our mental health. We're also going to discuss these haters in the community. And we're also going to discuss these charity events, giving back to the community. When we can work together as black men, we're more stronger when we can work it out. But when it comes to conflict resolution, we so quick to pull a gun on each other. See, it's like a pit bull, the dog. See, people think a pit bull is a vicious dog. It's really an innocent animal. But some people do in the community. They put gunpowder on top of the dog food and feed it to the pit bull. So the pit bull becomes a vicious animal. Just like they do to black men in the community. They put the drugs in the community. They put the alcohol in the community. And when you mix that together, that creates the gunfire. No conflict resolution. Get ready for tonight. We're making history. Black men talking it out on ABC 30. BlindCityThePodcast.com. BlindCityThePodcast.com. ABC 30 TV. Master P Roman noodles. Go pick them up at a local grocery store near you. We got a great show this evening. I got 2 strong black men inside the city that just pulled up. I call them the People's Champion. My man, Mike Brown Sr., how you doing?
I'm all right, brother. Glad to be here.
Thank you for pulling up to the city.
No doubt.
Jessie Taylor, how you doing?
I don't know. I ate some White Castle and some chocolate. I ain't gonna be here too long. Well, let's get it over with. My stomach tripping.
Thank you for pulling up to the city.
Literally.
Well, check it out, fellas. We're doing it again. We tried this a few months ago, and let me say this. Trying to work with our people sometimes becomes a hazard.
I know, especially in this entertainment world.
Right. And we're going to stay right there with it. Sometimes when we try to work with us, conflict resolution skills seems like it's not there in our community. Seems like a small disagreement can turn into threats. Threats can turn into gunshots. I guess that's the times we're living in, fellas. Mike Brown Sr., how you feel about that, what I just said?
Hey, man, there ain't nothing but truth out in that. You ain't leaving nothing out.
We both done threatened people in the last 3 weeks. I know I have.
Right.
A lot of people, a lot of talk. You know, I'm from a. This is what I agree with. I'm from a throw your hands era.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We could settle this with a friendly look. Let's fight and we shake hands afterwards.
Right.
Let's do that. You know, that's what I grew up. My father would take us to people's house. Hey, they chased. You ran? Yeah, they chased us. It was a few of them. He said, but you ran? Get in the car. I'm like, where we going? He take us to the house, knock on the door. Yeah, your kids chased my kids. Tell them to come out. They gonna fight. Shake hands. And it was over. That's not that way anymore. It's a lot of, I'll say this, in our community, they're quicker to shoot because they don't have that ability to throw hands. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mind taking an L. It's a fist fight. You win some, you're gonna lose some. Right. But now I think people are more cowardice. You know, when you got that keyboard in front of you, you can say whatever you want to the person. You don't expect to see them. Mm-hmm. People take money from you and think they can hide in the city. St. Louis too small.
Too small.
So you think the internet has amplified a lot of people with confidence out here?
Internet gave cowards a voice.
Cowards a voice.
I believe that. They gave cowards a voice. And you expect real men, like we're men.
Right.
So when I see you and I'm in a different light and I don't want to be aggressive, but you still said what you said and I have to address it. Now you'll say that I'm the aggressor, but I'm not. You said what you said, now there's an action. When I grew up, you had a house phone. And when you saw somebody, you had to say it to their face. Gossip, people they would approach you and you would handle it like men.
Well, let's stay right there too. And I'm gonna speak on it because I use this as therapy. When we shot the last video, to the people looking at this, I have to break it down. We shot this episode before, but it wasn't shot right. So I had to come back and grab my folks again and say, we got to redo it. So I know when I called you, Mike, you was kind of bewildered on it because we had some good material on there. And then I gave Jessie the call. So my thing was, we do business, and I'm not saying all black people, okay? But I'm just saying it seemed like the ones, and you guys can speak on your own personal experience. But in St. Louis, trying to work with us, it seems like you're working with a little envy and jealousy with the person you might be working with. Mike, when I came to the Black Ball, you remember that, right?
Yes, sir.
I went in my pockets when we were sitting down handling business. You remember that, right?
Yes, sir.
So I pulled out some money. And I gave you some money.
Well appreciated.
Right. Donation.
Yes, sir.
So Blind City represents the community. But at the same time, the guy who I had come there to shoot the event, and Mike, you can testify to this, he was pocket watching. So after he saw me give you the money, later that night, he asked me, yeah, you know where I'm going.
I already know what's going on.
Let's flip tables like Jesus.
Right.
Yeah. He said, hey, man, you gave him that much? I said, bro, you taken care of for the night. Why are you asking me that? Well, I don't want to feel lowball. How the hell you going to feel lowball when you already gave me a price? And I took care of you.
You should have told him, hey, I'm blind. I don't know what I gave him. That's what you should have said. He wouldn't have no comeback for that.
Right. But no, I had some people with me there. When I always exchange money, I had somebody there. You know, we already counted before we get out the car, you know. So
He pocket watched
the whole situation.
From the car.
So he was pocket watching the whole time. So that's what we got into our little conflict about. Now, the other guy.
No, that conflict was never resolved.
Exactly.
He said something, he just got quiet. So he held that against you, correct?
Correct.
And it led up to the situation that you're trying to speak on, bad business.
Correct.
Correct.
And I had to switch teams. I had to come to Half Coast.
Right.
And when you do business with Half Coast, I've been pleased ever since. And they're white boys.
Right.
And I'm going to stand on that because they know how to handle business. They not pocket watching because they already got money.
Well, they set their price and they stood on it.
That's right. But even so, you got brothers out here in the streets claim they got money, though. So that caught me off guard. And I knew this guy for 20-something years. So it totally threw me off. And then the other clown that I brought, the R&B singer.
Right.
Now, this real funny. I really want to get y'all opinion on this. Here's a guy had a hit record 25 years ago, was signed to Okay. Owes this man over $400,000. He's not getting no royalty checks. He's not doing so good in his life right now. But I said, let me work with him. And we never got along. Matter of fact, we were enemies back in the day. So let me say this to people. Hey, don't worry about no kumbaya. If a guy never liked you at first, don't try to do business with him. So anyway, he did the intro music to Blind City. If you remember when we were in the studio, it was a guy singing, Jesse. You remember that? You said you knew him.
Yeah.
Okay. I paid him for the intro. So the other guy that shot the video gives him a call. Well, first he called me after we got into that argument at Mike's Blackball. We got on the phone the next day. I'm thinking we trying to find a resolution of this, but it seems like to me, after he got into it with me, he gave this other guy a call, the R&B singer, and said, how much did Blind City pay you for the intro? He told me he paid you $700. Now, I did tell the cameraman I did pay him $700. You know why I told him that? Wasn't his damn business what I paid him. So my phone rings. Hey, man, why you telling the cameraman you gave me $700? I said, because it's none of his damn business what I gave you. Why you screaming on the phone? Why you so emotional over it? Mm-hmm. Well, man, don't be lying on me, man. You only gave me $200. I said, I know that. But I gave you something, right? Mm-hmm. Because you down on your luck. You ain't getting no checks from you living with somebody. You don't have a car. I gave you $200. And when I gave it to you, you took it. So he gets all riled up, start talking, making threats. I said, all right. Then start sending me text messages with threats.
He was texting you? Or he was
texting
heated?
Me, bro.
He was heated.
Now, here's the sad part. And this is what I have a problem with in our community. You going to go after the guy that's blind, but you're not going to go after who owe you $400,000 that got you broke right now? What you think, Mike? Somebody owe you. Matter of fact, Mike, you just had an incident on social media yourself.
You wanted to catch a fade?
Sound like some bullying to me. Huh?
He wanted to fight you?
Right.
Wanted to fight, made
You ain't
threats.
worry about no fights, though. You can slide them my way.
You had to blast somebody out because they owe you money. But what is it within our community, man, that we have people who try to get over and then they want to try to bully in, but they're not going to bully the person who's bullying them. If somebody owe you $400,000, Jesse.
They not bullying Mike. I already know that. They ain't bullying. You got bullied, bro?
Nah, bro.
I heard you blast somebody. I didn't see it, but I heard it. It rippled through the city.
To the city, didn't it?
Right.
It rippled quick. Yeah. And I was at a show and they was like, hey, call your boy Mike. What happened? He's like, hey, somebody took money from him. But he was like, you can keep it. I'm going to see you. I said, yeah. And he positive. So you had to rub him funny to get to that point.
So at the end of the day, this money that was put out to this individual.
A comedian. We don't say his name.
A comedian, yeah. It was supposed to be set up to help this event that I'm doing now, this Hood Santa event, for my give back. So by him playing these games or whatever, so I had to spark the world with some information. And by this date that I gave him, if you don't have it, sorry, I'm gonna have to turn this water completely off in this city. You're gonna have to make money somewhere else. I don't know how hard this is gonna be for him, because you done burnt a lot of bridges. I got a whole list of people that you done burnt, bruh, and I can't believe you still alive. Sorry to say that on her. I don't want to piss nobody out. They be like, you know what
he
Mike
already
said?
started that.
What Mike said, you know what? He right. Let's go find him. Nah, I didn't say it, do that. But I'm just putting it out there like, yeah, this guy been playing with a lot of bosses.
Right.
Mr. Langford started the show. He should have played Ether before we came on there. Because he came with the venom.
And the sad thing about it is this same individual we speaking on, we did the Orlando Watson. Hey, rest in peace to Orlando
Rest in peace,
Watson,
my brother.
man.
Yeah.
You know, I still keep your name alive, bro, when a lot of people forgot. But this same individual we're speaking on, I said, hey, man, why don't you come on to the show and let's talk to the community. This man threw a price at me, bro. And then I said, well, get back with me. I spoke with him again a couple of weeks later. He threw another price cheaper than the other price. I said, man, you think I'm finna pay you? You think I'm going to pay you to come on a community show, bro? And he just said, that's just the way I move. That's how I do things, man. But I can, if you donate to my shows, whatever I get at the door, I can give you a percentage back. That didn't make sense to me. I haven't spoke with him since. But before we go to the break, y'all want to know who we talking about? His new name is Reverend Popoff. We be right back after these messages.
In my opinion, I believe Lang, aka Shadow, has always been he's always been a community representative even before his blindness set on. So, I mean, I wouldn't feel that that was conducive to him doing what he's doing now. He was always doing it. So, I don't think he's using his blindness to help the community. I believe he's using, his heart, you know what I'm saying, to help the community, which is what he's always done, in my opinion. Ramrilla, track killer, STL, hip hop legend, 80s to the present, and tune in to Blind City, no doubt.
BlindCityThePodcast.com. We got Jessie Taylor, Mike Brown Sr. inside the city, and we're just having a real discussion about the city, people in the city. Let me start with this, Mike Brown Sr. You just got back from Australia.
Yes, sir.
Man, this man traveling around the world.
That's the Barbie, right? The Down Under.
Yeah.
What was the reason for the big trip to Australia?
Well, we was invited over there for 5 screenings of Ferguson Rises. So I went over there. It was a money trip, and an experience.
Well, while you was over there in Australia, Elon Musk made a comment. Yeah. Made a comment. I think he was retweeting Tashara Jones, the mayor of St. Louis City, and made a comment that hands up, don't shoot. It was a hoax. How you feel about that, Mike Brown Sr.?
Oh, I feel some type of way about it because, it all came from the death of Mike Brown Jr. Those words would have never been said if that would have never happened to Mike Brown Jr. So what you saying, what happened to Mike Brown Jr. was fake? Hey, people be playing with the wrong folks, man.
He elaborated. He said the bus loads of the people they dropped off in the they was throwing the bottles and bricks, which they gave a name to them, like now Antifa. So he was pretty much saying that the people outside of the black people that you seen late at night, people coming down there with full riot gear, tear gas masks. I know I ain't buy none. I was down there. I ain't saying I was throwing nothing, but you know what I'm saying? I was down there. You know what I'm saying? But he was pretty much saying that all the stuff that was around it, that the government provided to incite it. And I don't know if that's, because I know the people that was on ground zero, the family, the friends, and the black people in the community that were frustrated, those weren't fake.
Right.
But I do know when I was down there a few times, it was people I'd never seen in my life. Never.
So that's another thing. You're right. It's a lot of businesses burned down, right?
That didn't come back.
That didn't come back.
So is that a tax write-off?
Hey, bro.
No, because there's such thing as hazard, right? Even when I own my club, you had to get a $1 million aggregate in case something happened, but there is no riot insurance.
Right.
Now we have it in Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't have it at first. Like in Ferguson, you can get riot. So do you agree, like the AutoZone, or was that Advance Auto?
That was a van.
I saw that start. I saw it start. I was out. I saw it start. And it's like they wanted it gone. But now I'm not going to, I don't know if it was planned or not, but I just seen like certain people, they were targeting certain buildings that had nothing to do with nothing. And they were out the way and they was like, go in there. Advance Auto, they ain't got nothing in there but alternators and plugs. Nobody wanted that store.
Right.
And it burned, the metal burned. What were they throwing in there?
But the question I want to ask too, ever since the Ferguson, the uprising, a lot of people been missing, bro. We didn't had some people being hung from trees.
Darren Seals?
But he wasn't hung. He was.
No, he's burned.
Yeah.
Murdered and burned.
Murdered and burned.
We had, I think, how many others, Mike? Was it 2 of them that were found hung in the backyard?
That Skeeter, the guy that was throwing through the torch back, towards the police.
With the American flag?
Yeah, with the flag on. That was saving
I thought
the
that
kid.
was Darren.
Nah, that was Skeeter.
He's deceased as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then who was the kid found hung from the tree? In his mama's backyard, and she did a documentary on it.
Dante.
Okay. Very suspicious, huh?
Yeah.
Or are we still living in Mississippi? So I just wanted to speak on that. We'll be right back after these messages. BlindCityPodcast.com.
Comedian Jessie Taylor here.
And Mike Brown Sr.
Each and every week, we listen to Blind City, the podcast. What channel they on, Mike?
It's on Channel 30.
Channel 30? What's that? I don't even know no more.
ABC, bro.
ABC?
ABC.
ABC 30?
ABC 30.
I don't even know no more. I got a fried stick.
Oh, man.
BlindCityThePodcast.com. I got Jessie Taylor.
The truth.
Mike Brown Sr.
In the building.
But let me say this, Jessie, man. Let me send this out to you, man. You and I go back, bro, like an 8-track, man. Let me say this, man. When I was losing my sight, brother, I would like to thank you for being there for a brother.
Right.
You and I go back. I've been through a lot of trials and tribulations with yourself as well and supported you. And but you really talking with me when I had lost my sight and really going through it and thinking about suicide. You really helped me overcome that, bro. So I just want to tell you thank you on that.
Yeah, I've been there. Remember, I lost my right eye. So I've been down that road. But you was getting on my nerves some nights, but I get it because I was doing that to people too. I couldn't dial because, we had rotary phones when I lost mine. We didn't have what you got.
Right.
Wasn't no voice technology. We had the I couldn't see. So, but I learned now that a 2 to 3 minute conversation could save somebody's life. Like I look at my phone sometimes, I'll just end it. I don't want to talk. But if it's late, you don't know what that person is. Now I'm gonna entertain it just in case because I've been in that hole, and I suffer depression still. Like I had my moments when my mom died. I never mourned her, and I think that's the problem, especially in our community. We so trying to be so strong and not show weakness, but you don't realize not showing weakness is a weakness.
Right.
And I didn't even realize it till now because like I'm so used to just being up front, and I'm a comic and entertainer, so I'm always playing and cracking jokes. But sometimes I'm cracking jokes so you don't notice that I'm going through something. You know what I'm saying? My son watching me, he's 16, he just be staring at me. So I can't really show him no weakness, but I got to show him that I can be weak and still be strong. I haven't found that medium yet.
That's powerful.
Yeah, write that down, fam. Get a shirt made. You get a shirt made. Don't steal that either.
Right. Mike Brown Sr., I would like to thank you as well, brother, because when I first started this podcast, you were under another management. Your beautiful wife, Cal, has been with you through the thick and thin and the storms, and I want to thank her as well because she's been through her own trials and tribulations. But both of you, both of you, when you came to do my podcast, when I was in the basement, with your appearance on that show, that made Blind City a podcast damn near a worldwide name, brother. Because after that interview, KMOX called me. The white radio stations called me. And I want to thank you for that, brother.
It's all love. Thank you.
And where do you find that you want to give back so much after what you've been through, man, and the tragedy loss of your son, and, you're still pushing hard out here in the community, and you're thinking of others. You're not just thinking of yourself and what you've been through. Where you get that spirit from, bro?
Well, that helps me, not just my immediate family, man, that kept me, from not crashing out, right? Keeping the vest off and the chopper out my hand, right? But, just helping other people, man, it makes me happy. Like I got the group Chosen Fathers, they think I'm so much there for them, but they so much there for me.
Well, before we pull out the city, last and final thoughts and words to the people in the community.
Yeah, my OnlyFans. But no, on a serious note, yeah, man, I just, I would like to start a round table. You know what I'm saying? I help my brother Time. We go out and pass out mass. And we grocery shop for elderly people that are afraid to leave the house or they can't leave the house. We do that at least twice a month. And that shocked me more than I would ever thought it would do. Because I didn't know people need help grocery shopping. I didn't know. But like he said, with the food, some of these elderly people can't walk, their legs are big. And I was like, a doctor told me something and I never understood. He said they call it diabetes, right? He said, but they won't tell you it should be called the sugar disease. It's the processed food and sugar disease. Because what you eat today will haunt you 15 years from now. And I was like blown away. He was like, it's cool now that you're eating it. The milk, the dairy, the process. He said, it's cool now because it tastes good. He said, but you don't see somebody told you right now, we're in our 40s. If they told you right now, what you eating today will hurt you when you're 60, you would stop eating it. I know I would. I just want people to just try to change up a little healthy. Work out at least once or twice a week and just change your food up, especially in our community, and reach out to an elderly person in your neighborhood, bro. It don't hurt you nothing. Ain't no more big mamas in the neighborhood. Right. At least protect the ones that we do got. Right. That's all I want to care about. Because when I start seeing it firsthand, and I'm a comic, I like to play and crack jokes. But when you out there in the streets and you see it in this close hand, the elderly people are being overlooked. People don't respect them, they cursing. Just kind of, if you could just control that and look out for the elderly people, the neighborhoods will stand back up. Because we're not protecting our women and our elderly. We lost anyway.
BlindCityThePodcast.com. Final thoughts on tonight's show. We made history. 3 black men coming together to sit down and talk about our differences, our community organizations, and also just being open in what we're dealing with when it comes to adversity among black men. We don't mean no harm or disrespect, but sometimes you gotta look in the mirror and see the truth about yourself. Once we confront those demons, then we're able to reach out for the olive branch amongst my brothers. I'd like to say thank you to the citizens and everybody that has supported Blind City, the podcast. You have helped me live a better life and deal with my handicap. St. Louis, I love you. And to my brothers, we don't say this every day enough. I love you. To even my haters.
If you found this content helpful, please share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Blind City, the podcast. You can find us on all social media platforms.